and lining up contingency plans, and some members of Congress are already ticking off the seconds till the so-called Obama-Reid shutdown begins. You're looking at a website from Republican Congressman Paul Broun of Georgia. He says Democrats have been working for months on a diabolical plan to shut things down. Congressman Broun joins us live from Capitol Hill. Welcome, Congressman.
Hey, Carol. Thanks for having me today.
Thanks for being here. Do you really think Democrats want the government to shut down?
Absolutely. I think they're doing this for political purposes. I think that back during the lame duck session, they started trying to figure out how to get Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House again, to give Harry Reid a big majority in the Senate and to re-elect Obama next year. And they figured since Republicans in their pledge to America pledged to cut $100 billion of spending, they just said, aha, here's the way we'll do this. We'll give them a few crumbs, look like we're reasonable, we'll shut the government down, blame Republicans, be a backlash against Republicans, and we'll get all these things accomplished. Mm-hmm. So I think it was a very diabolical plan that they put together back last year after the November election, and they're carrying it out. And a good example is just the fact that Barack Obama's not even been engaged in this budget talks trying to keep the government
President Obama did engage yesterday, and I just want to play a bit of what he had to say. Here's President Obama's take on things.
I think what the American people expect from me is the same thing that they expect from every member of Congress, and that is that we're looking out for the interests of the American people and not trying to score political points. I think what they're looking from me is the same thing that they're looking from Speaker Boehner and Harry Reid and everybody else, and that is that we act like grown-ups.
So just your reaction to the act like grown-ups, because if you look at the polls, and CNN just did a poll, Americans are split evenly on who's to blame for this possible government shutdown.
Well, I've got a challenge for the president. Start acting like a leader. He's been absent. He finally came to the table yesterday. We've been dealing with this for months and months. 46 days ago, the House passed H.R. 1, a long-term continuing resolution to continue funding the government through this fiscal year. The president has been AWOL. He's been missing in action. It's way past time for him to come to the table and start getting involved in this process. Even the Democrats have been bemoaning the fact that he has been AWOL and missing in action. Well, I think they're planning on shutting the government down, and this is just a good circumstantial evidence to point to the fact that that's exactly what they want to do for political points.
I think, Congressman, though, that a lot of Americans are concerned about the rhetoric on Capitol Hill. I mean, you've called the president a socialist who doesn't care about the Constitution. I mean, when rhetoric is going on like that on Capitol Hill, is it possible to sit down with the other side and to have a productive conversation?
Well, Carol, I've worked with Democrats on a number of issues in the last Congress, on housing issues, on trying to get our economy going, to create jobs. But the thing is, the president
then why the name calling? Then why the name calling? And why can't you guys come to some sort of conclusion?
Carol, it's not name calling. It's just pointing out the fact. The thing is, the president, Harry Reid and Barack Obama believe the federal government should do everything for everybody. They believe in a socialistic, Washington-controlled government that tells everybody in this country what to do, what kind of health care we can have, what kind of light bulbs we can have.
But couldn't you argue it from the other side, too, since a series of social, like defunding Planned Parenthood and defunding NPR and PBS, some people might say that the Republicans are doing exactly the same thing, telling people what to do with their lives.
No, ma'am, absolutely not. In fact, the thing is, we don't have constitutional authority under the original intent of the Constitution to fund Planned Parenthood or NPR, a lot of things that we're doing. In fact, Article 1, Section 8, a list or enumerates the powers of Congress to act, and it's only 18. We should be dealing with national security, national defense, foreign affairs, and very little else. And we've got to find bridges to send those powers back to the states and the people as our founding fathers meant for them to. And that's what we're working on here. I believe in freedom. In fact, the president and the leadership of the Democratic Party believe that government needs to control everybody and everything, and that's not freedom. And so all I've done is pointed out the differences in the two parties, and we've got to get the economy going and start creating jobs in this country.
And I think everyone would agree with you, but, you know, people are just hoping that the two sides can sit down and talk in a reasonable manner with each other.
I agree.
And okay, well, let's see what happens.
In fact, that's what Republicans have been trying to do all along. That's what Republicans have been trying to do. We've been trying to fund this government. We've been trying to go forward. But the president and Harry Reid have been missing in action. has not passed anything. He's been negligent in doing his duties. He's not shown leadership in the Senate. Put something on the table. In fact,
well,
our
actually,
speaker,
we could go
Mr.
on and on
Boehner's
with
been-
this. Actually, the Democrats supposedly did put something on the table. But like I said, you know, voters are hearing so many different things from both sides. It's difficult to know what's real. But thank you very much for giving us your side of the action. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Congressman Brown, thanks.